and I'm so excited for this show today. I don't want to waste any time because we have a lineup of such amazing guests today. First up, I want to welcome Rahsaan Alexander, DJ Fly Guy. It's actually like an extreme honor. We have to say shout out to Yvette Harris for plugging that and making this situation happen. I was reading through your bio today and was getting chills just kind of going through all of the things that you have accomplished in your life and all of the work that you've done. I have so many questions for you. Do you want to give the bio is it's like a story in itself. Do you want to just give some high level snippets to people who may not already be familiar with your work?
Briefly, I'm a Guyanese DJ born in Dorsett, Guyana, representing Guyana, Brooklyn, and Miami. Snippets to people who may not know all three places. And I've been a professional DJ in the city of Miami for over 10 years, actually going on 13 years now. And I've done everything from the time to dive bars to DJing around the world, in Switzerland, Japan, China, places like that, and everywhere in between.
You can actually say hashtag we made it. Right. I mean, I use it, but that's like my little mini incremental things. I'm like, I made it. But I feel like you definitely have risen, had a complete journey of so much and still are getting started. Yeah, still rising.
It's still a journey. It's been an interesting one the past 9 months.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely interesting.
Yes.
At dark on a lot of days, but now days are a little brighter now, and just trying to continue to push forward and
I would ask you, like, how do you stay humble through it all? If you could just, obviously an experience like what you went through in the last 9 months will humble anyone real quick. But prior to that, as you were rising and having all of these amazing experiences, what were some of the things that you did to kind of just stay real,
I mean, I credit a lot of that to my family. My family would never let me get a big head. I credit that to the friends that keep me grounded, and just coming from a place of you're never better than anyone else. I never tried to be better than the next person. I just tried to be really, really good at what I'm doing. And that allows me to stay humble and continue to say, okay, I did this yesterday, I did this 6 months ago, what am I going to do next? It's always about forward progression and what can I outdo that I've done already.
Absolutely. So I want to ask you a little bit, because we're here today to talk a little bit about your COVID experience and the eviction process that happened, the story and the little snippet movie that's available on tomiamiwithlove.com, which is very powerful. Absolutely. Everyone should go and watch that if you haven't already.
Thank you.
But where are you now? Did you get evicted? I'm like, do you need to come stay at my house? I was just like, what is real? Where we at?
So I went to court in October, and the CDC passed a moratorium that said no one can be evicted until December 31st, after December 31st, because the CDC felt like if you put thousands of people out of their homes, you're just going to spread COVID around to people who now have to stay with other people. And so, but once that moratorium ends, then I have to go back to court again and deal with the eviction or come up with the money that I owe my apartment complex, which I don't have.
This is wild.
What we're hoping, what I've been praying for is that there is another extension to the moratorium. I haven't heard anything yet, but we got about another 10 days or so, or 9 days to hopefully hear something. And then, once that bridge comes, I'll figure out, what's going to be the next move.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, because it was scary to me. And I thought about as well how many other artists must have been going through this experience. And
so many.
In Miami, a city is built on this culture. And for someone of your notoriety you really put yourself out there in the story, and you could see the pain that you were going through. It's like so many other people must have been feeling so much pain.
And that's why I really did it. The story, it isn't about me per se, but it's about me saying, okay, if there are other people who might not have the courage or the willingness to voice or show or display their turbulent times that they're going through, I'll be the voice for you. I'll be the scapegoat, if you will. I'll be the one that is going to speak for you because I know you're going through it, because I've spoken to you.
Yeah.
A lot of my friends in the nightlife industry, hospitality industry, we're all experiencing these things. And I'm fine with being the representative, I guess, if you will, of us to say that not only are we going through these things, but let me be an example of how you're able to pivot and come out of it, you know, if you stand firm in your faith and your abilities and, you know, figure out a way to push forward.
It's very brave of you, especially because the industry that you're in is so much about I'm on top of the world, I'm bling, etc. I have another question for you. Have you been back to Guyana since you left?
I go to Guyana every year, at least for a minimum of 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You know, when I left Guyana when I was 5, and then I didn't go back till I was 27. But then once I went back at 27, I started going every year to kind of reconnect my energy and my spirit to my homeland. So, and then that's been a great experience because I've gotten to DJ in Guyana. I've spoken to the youth in Guyana, kids who want to come to America and be DJs and be entertainers. So it's been, not only is it a rejuvenating, you know, experience for my spirit, but it's also good community work that I'm doing out there.
Yeah. Beautiful country. That was the first place I actually went to outside of the United States.
Really?
Yeah. And I mean, we could have a whole show just talking about that. I want to talk a little bit about mental health in Black communities and what actions you felt like you have equipped yourself with to tackle these types of challenges as they come along.
Mental health, you know, I'm a very big advocate for it. It's a very important issue for me because of the stigma that they've tried to brand it about and say that, you know, as Black men, as Black culture, you know, just thicken your skin, tough, you know, walk it off, basically shake it off. And it you know, I think that mentality has put a lot of us in a position where we feel like we can't express when we need help or need somebody to talk to. And I definitely am making it a point to say that, no, we don't have to think like that anymore. It's okay to say that you need help. It's okay to have to talk to a therapist or somebody. And I had to get to a point where I was comfortable doing that before I could tell other people that they should do it. Not to be on a soapbox or anything, but I had to find the courage in myself to go talk to someone. And then once I did that, I said, you know what, I think me expressing this and showing people that it's okay could be a benefit. I even, during quarantine, I even had one of my therapy sessions on Instagram Live. And my therapist said prior to going live, he said, are you sure you want to do this? I said, absolutely, because I want people to know that even someone like me that you might think is on top of the world has issues, and I'm willing to talk about it in public, if you will, virtually, but in public. So
important, especially just given everything that's happened to us outside of pandemic with Black Lives Matter and everything. Just really quickly, because we have to continue on the show today. How can people support your work? Where can they find the book that you've worked on? Any high level points with the book?
Yeah, To Miami with Love, my photography book, basically documenting Miami's pandemic quarantine life. To MiamiWithLove.com. It's a 256-page coffee table book, 11 by 14. It's big.
Yeah, it looks very substantial.
Yeah, and this is just coming off of my very first photography exhibit of the same name, To Miami with Love, that I had at the Conrad Hotel in Brickell, where I took 10 images from the book and gave that as the preview to what the book is. And I've already sold out of the first 2 editions of it, the first 2 rounds of copies, which is a major blessing to public, my followers, my fans, my friends. They've been so supportive of me, and I'm so grateful. But definitely, if people want to get the book, To MiamiWithLove.com.
They can pre-order the next.
They can pre-order the next round. Yeah.
Well, let's have you back again when that next round comes out.
Absolutely, which will be February, by the way.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, love month.
On the schedule.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I really appreciate it. Okay, we are going to go to our next guest. We didn't really explain it to you. Sorry, we're going to switch out. Ryan's going to come in now. Thank you so much. Yep, we've got a lot of guests today. There's so much going on. So here comes Ryan, my deep friend and educator in the community, back down here in Miami for a few days. I'm so glad we got to get you on the show. So tell me a little bit about how you're doing, because I haven't seen you. I've seen you on Zoom. Let me just we've been on Zoom.
A lot.
Give people a little brief intro on your bio so that they can get some high level stuff.
Well, hi, name's Ryan Hall. And I am a digital marketer and founder of my own marketing and education company based on here in Miami. And I've done a lot of stuff in the startup ecosystem and education space here in Miami. I used to work as the program manager of Code Fever, which is now the Center for Black Innovation, because they do so many things.
It's expanded.
Yeah, it's expanded. So worked with them on Black Tech Week, Code Fever, doing a lot of education courses and stuff like that. And my company, once I left there, my company Black Valley Digital, I decided to take the stuff that I'd learned with with marketing for larger companies and for startups, and start sharing that with minority small businesses.
Mhm.
And over time, that ended up like morphing and including a lot of education, because that's always been like a big thing that I do. And we actually started a project earlier this year in like August with the Broward County Libraries and General Assembly, where we were essentially doing it was a huge project called Built in Broward, where we were essentially teaching people how to transition into the tech space by getting basic tech skills and starting to become freelancers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super important work. I love the education component. And I want to talk a little bit about how we met and take a few minutes to just acknowledge
How did
you.
we meet? It's been
I
so
know
long.
how we met. You probably don't, because I met you at the check-in at Tribe at one of my very first visits.
Really?
Yes.
Mm.
Tribe is a co-working space in Overtown, for those of you guys who don't know. And I just want to thank you for being open and friendly and easily accessible. I don't know if you know that you are these things, but it makes a huge difference when you're going into a space, especially where you're like solo, alone, and you're going to like a tech thing or networking thing, you don't know anyone. And to have just like a friendly face at the door.
Mhm.
And then every single time that I saw you after that, again, even if you didn't remember who I was, it was just like, hi, I'm a friendly person. I'm in tech. You can talk to me. I'm accessible. So thank you for that. And
You're welcome.
it's just been an honor to kind of serve alongside you in our community, especially now we're on 1 Million Cups together,
Mhm.
doing good things there.
Yeah.
So what does economic mobility in communities of color look like? I mean, that's what your work is about.
Mhm.
Economic mobility in communities of color. What does that look like? What is that?
So what is economic mobility, and what does it look like? Well, a great example is probably, I want to say, I had a few examples of people in my like freelance boot camp who are like perfect examples. People who either get displaced or have their jobs reduced or whatever happens. So their normal method of getting income isn't necessarily there anymore. And what happens when you have really marketable skills, especially tech skills, you have the mobility to move to any other location or any other job that you want. And you have the ability to increase your income if you wanted. So perfect example would be Lenora Porter. Do you know Lenora Porter?
No.
Lenora Porter is a great example. So Lenora, she is like probably one of my favorite people in tech. She's absolutely awesome. If you have the chance to check her out on Instagram, Lenora Porter, give her a little plug.
Okay.
She originally was a teacher. She didn't enjoy her job and she wanted to make a transition in her career.
Mhm.
So one of her first plugins into the community was coming to Black Tech Week and the Women's Innovation Brunch. Actually, no, I think it was that and another event that we did that was called Grit, Grits, and Glitter. It was a really awesome.
That sounds fun.
It was a fun brunch and the food was delicious. So she came to the event, she got connected to the community and decided that she wanted to make the switch into tech. So she ended up through the connections that she made at the event, she ended up going to one of the coding boot camps that was here in Miami. And she got basic skills, went through the entire thing and started working at different startups. If I'm not mistaken, I believe she started working at Live Ninja and then moved to another company. And I believe right now she's working on a project with Heroku at Salesforce. And she is getting paid way more than she did back when she was a teacher.
Yeah.
And she has the ability where with the skills that she's acquired, because she's continued her education after that, she's become a pillar in the community, showing other women how to actually transition and go into tech. And she also has the ability to move to other places, because I believe she moved out to the West Coast. So when you have these skills, you can basically go anywhere that you want and make the amount of money that you want. And I think that's why it's really important to teach and push people into the space of tech and getting tech related skills, because you can make a ton of money doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Miami is coming along. What do you think about the Miami tech scene? There's been a little bit of a flurry on Twitter going on. Any comments?
I'm really excited about what's going to be happening in 2021 and the years beyond for the Miami tech scene, because of how much money is coming into the space and how many people are relocating from places like New York, San Francisco, Seattle to here at Miami, because everybody's remote.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, where can people get in touch with you? I mean, I have so many more questions, but
yeah, we got to hurry
I
up with
had a
time.
little scheduling snafu today. And I'm
Yeah,
really sorry,
it's fine.
right?
It's fine. If anybody wants to connect with me, you can connect with me at Ryan Hall TV on Instagram, or go to our website, builtinbroward.com, and sign up for our newsletter.
Yeah, and this is so that you can get education and tools to better equip yourself to become an extra income source and get tech-enabled skills, all of these
Exactly.
things that you kind of need for the future.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to have you back, of course.
Of course.
We didn't even talk about Meta.
Yeah. Well, Meta is Built in Broward. We just had to
good.
rejig the name and stuff.
I love the acronym. It's very good.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ryan.
All right. No problem.
I appreciate you. Okay. I mean, this is like flashback to my birthday episode. We have so many amazing guests today. It's just too much good stuff in one episode. Honestly, we need 3 separate shows.
We go and save the best for last.
Listen to the show. I'm super excited to have you again. Thank you, Yvette, like all-star guest. And hopefully she doesn't cut me off from doing this scheduling.
What song is that? We save the best for last.
I don't know.
I think
I'm
Mariah
bad at
Carey.
that.
All right, you know.
So how are you? Welcome to the show.
Oh, we're live now?
Yes, we are live.
I didn't get nobody to count me. Okay. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm so used to somebody be like, are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, I apologize.
Don't apologize. This is a casual, fun show.
Okay, then. Yes.
And thank you for bringing your interns down so that they could see a little bit about what we do and everything like that.
Yeah.
Why don't you introduce yourself to the viewers?
Yes, hello everyone. I'm Lixon Nelson, president of Alliance Community and Employment Services. We're a disability nonprofit program in the South Florida area that assists individuals with employment services, vocational training, self-advocacy, post-secondary education. We're about to start getting into mental health, disability benefits, and so much more. And as you mentioned, my other company, I'm Unique. I'm Unique is a social networking platform for individuals with medical conditions and disability, a hub.
I love that idea of that, and I want to check that out. I want to get on that. I want to be on that. Tell me a little bit about what people that the people that you work with during the pandemic. What has that experience looked like for them?
It's been the opposite way around you would think. People with disabilities have been so excluded sometimes when it comes to employment. Now the general population is starting to feel what a person with disabilities feel like, getting that $700 check, having to do ends meet, having just go a whole week without a job and being creative and staying motivated. So right now people with disabilities are like, hey, now y'all know what we're going through. So that's really more of what it is, because the financial stress has always been there for people with disabilities when it comes to opportunity.
You know, I heard something interesting the other day. I was on a call. It was about the word disability, and this woman who, you know, she's under that category. And she said one of the things that she's trying to do is change the language to not be called disabled, but to be called differently abled.
Well, there's several phrases. For me, I call it I'm unique. I believe everybody comes in the word unique. Our motto is, even though you may share the same medical condition or disability, you're still uniquely created in your own self. That's from genetics, and that's from science, and that's from math. No 2 twins are the same people. So that's how me and my co-founder, Dr. Mike R. Bittman, came up with the name. You know, he came up with the phonetic spelling, and I came up with the vision and logo. And with his tech background, Dr. Mike R. Bittman and I created I'mUnique.com.
And so people can sign up for this service, I'm Unique, and tell me, what do they get from that?
Well, we'll go, when they get on there, they meet others with the same disability. We're trying to get organizations within the geographical areas to be able to log in their resources. Small nonprofit organizations that are trying to get their services out there, small providers that are trying to increase their business, trying to get it out there, to give the small mom and pop people that have homes, group homes, that have medical facilities, that are therapists, there are doctors, advocates, a platform to be able to advocate more. So if you look at the logo is an open heart, but that heart is actually, if you look inside, it's a person in a community full of love. So regardless of the medical condition or disability, I'mUnique.com cares.
Let's talk a little bit about what that loving community that you're building can do in terms of the workplace and welcoming differently abled or unique individuals into the workplace, structuring the workplace in things that we may not be thinking of.
Okay, since you pulled it out of me, it's a platform that we're going to add a job bank on I'mUnique.com, where employers that care about people with disabilities can go in there, upload their jobs. So people with disabilities can go in there and find jobs where the employers post themselves that they care. There's several state programs that have job banks as partnering with those different job banks. Like you said, collaborate. Yes. Why just be all over the place where we can just be one? So that's a great idea. That's you manifesting what I'mUnique is going to be. And dealing with jobs, people think you have the physical disability. You also have the unseen, like myself with dyslexia. Then you have those with emotional disabilities. So it's trying to get all of that wrapped into show an employer. With ACEs, we go in there and train employers on disability sensitive. We teach employers how to fire properly, how not to be afraid. People think when you got disability scared. No, you got to be, the EEOC said equal employment opportunity.
Yeah.
That goes for everybody. And the American Disability Act just want the person to be given a fair opportunity. So it's just that ACEs and along with other political individuals are trying to increase, some more employment. The federal rate right now is 7% of a workforce of any contracted government provider. So ACEs and myself would like to increase it to 10%. We would like to copy what we do in San Francisco and make Florida a disability community, where up in Miramar, we can get a lot of employers with disabilities to come out and start hiring more people with disabilities. So I messed up, and so I owe you. Go ahead.
No, you're doing good. I'm having such a fun time chatting with you. I'm glad we're ending the show on this note.
Okay.
So ACEs goes into employee places of business and provides them with training to then better work with the differently abled or unique population.
Yes, and ACE is also teaching people with disabilities how to start their own jobs. That's a passion of mine. This summer, we taught kids with entrepreneurship, kids with disabilities how to create their own jobs. So do follow us. Right now, we have a summer camp and we have a winter camp. I'm getting cut down.
Winter.
And we got our charity we're doing in Haiti for people with disabilities.
Okay.
I'll give you the information.
All right. And where can people find information about it online?
Well, if you want to go to ACES, you can go to acesmiami.org. You can email administration at aces.org. If you want to find out about I'mUnique, it's I as in igloo, M as in Mary, U as in umbrella, N as in Nancy, E as in Eric, E as in edit, K as in kite. So it's I'mUnique.com.
Beautiful. Thank you guys so much for watching the show today. Thank you to Miami Community News for sponsoring this program. Happy holidays to all of you. Please enjoy yourself. Be safe, happy, healthy, and well.
Ashe.